everyone. Will here with the Inside Infinity podcast, episode number 39, recorded April 21st, 2014. We have a great show for you tonight, but before we get started with the show, I want to introduce some of my good friends. First, we have my co-host, Jason Haynes, hailing from Aussie land.
G'day, guys. Can I listen? Sorry, I forgot what I say. G'day.
It's not like you've done this, 30-something times now. You would think you would know.
I'm back from camping, so I'm too relaxed. I need to just get my mind back in the game. So, g'day, everyone.
Well, you have about 3 minutes until we get into the meat of the show for you to get things started. So you clear your mind.
Clearing.
Next up, we have Pirate Steven, the one and only. How are you doing tonight, Pirate?
Ahoy there. Everything's good. Good in day after Easter land.
That's good. You had a busy Easter, didn't you?
Crazy Easter.
Well,
did the Easter Bunny visit either of your houses?
Easter Bunny did visit me, and gave me rotten eggs, but that's par for the course around here.
I was camping, couldn't find me. Found my kids, but clearly just forgot me.
I'm surprised you made it back. I posted a Facebook article with you and mine this week, and it was like, I know Pirate liked it, and it was basically saying how crazy you got to be because of all the crazy wild animals that live in Australia to live there.
Yeah, no, I just had to deal with a few wasps, nothing else. It was all right.
Is that singular or plural?
A couple. It's all right. You just got to make sure you don't have your soft drink cans because they fly in there and they can get in your throat and kill you. So.
Wow. Okay.
I'm here, though, aren't I? So we survived. It's all right.
You are. You have learned the ways to survive camping in Australia.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'd like to say hello to everyone listening or watching live, and thanks to those that are watching and chatting with us in the chat room. I see some familiar faces and names in there, so welcome. Just a reminder, you can watch us live every Monday evening, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Just go to InsideDisneyInfinity.com and you can watch and chat live with us. So we have a pretty good show ahead of everyone tonight, but before we do that, I want to mention something about next week's show, especially after I just had that little pitch. So next week's show is not going to be on our normal day. It is actually going to be next Wednesday to coincide with the Disney Infinity 2.0 media event that will be taking place. That will be taking place on 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is the time of the event. And a friend of the show, longtime listener, Caesar from the Action Figure Insider, I'll post that link in the show notes, he's going to be at the event and feeding us information. So we are going to kind of have a live blog of the event. So make sure you tune in next Wednesday morning to check out the up-to-the-minute news of that media event, and then we're all going to be getting together that evening to discuss the news of the day. So next week's show, long story short, same time, but it's going to be on Wednesday night instead of Monday. I'm excited about that. Are you guys excited? I just want to hear more Disney Infinity 2.0 news.
Me too.
Yeah, it's like Christmas is coming up. I can't wait.
Seriously, I'm not going to be able to sleep the night before. It's true. It's true. Yes, Papa Echo Inside Infinity 2.0 edition. That will be the teaser for that edition, where I don't know what that means. We have biotic upgrades, or Jason wears a Mickey hat instead of a Donald hat. I don't know. And Pirate.
I'll be on the hunt for a new Donald Duck hat when I'm in Disney World at the end of the year, so that'll be the 2.0 edition. You'll know when I've got a new Donald hat on.
The improvement. And Pirate Steve's 2.0 edition is going to be a washed hat, I think. One that smells less bad. Oh, awesome. Well, with that, gents, should we go ahead and get things moving along with the show? We have a little bit of rumors this week. I don't know, did you guys see this? So it was an official leak, if such a thing exists. The official Disney fan club, D23, rumored that the release they actually posted in an April kind of update that Disney Infinity 2.0 would be released in August 2014. Did you guys see this?
I was camping. I had no data or phone reception.
Yeah, I saw it when it went live, and everybody was so excited about it. But to hear Johnny V saying that it was not true leads me to believe him.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So this is what was posted on their side. I was able to find. They promptly removed this as soon as they posted it, like minutes later, and I was able to find a cached version of the site, and there you can see it right there. I just took a screen cap, and it's right there, Disney Infinity 2. But then, like Pirate said, we bring up Johnny V's tweet. He is saying that the launch date info was erroneous, and by erroneous, I mean wrong. So, and then the link that he's linked off to right here takes you to Disney News, Disney Infinity 2, D23 correction. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know what to believe. It's rare that anyone comes out and publicly like acknowledges a rumor like that. So, and that's kind of what you're alluding to, right, Pirate? That with Johnny V actually coming out and saying that, you're not sure if you believe the leak, and you're kind of thinking JV is swinging us the right direction.
Yeah, I'm thinking more September, October. So I don't think August is way off, but yeah, you don't want to. And they have so much behind this event that they're doing on Wednesday next week that they don't want to give anything away ahead of time. They want everybody to be tuning in to this event news to get excited and to feel the buzz themselves. Definitely.
What about you, Jason? Do you agree with that, or do you think that August is? I mean, that's a pretty specific date. Where did the D23 website just grab that out thin air, do you think?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I mean, the way it's even written seems like it's something. It's not. I mean, it's press release-ish. It's nothing that doesn't look like just a slip of the character, so to speak, and certainly August 2015, I think it'd be too late. So I really don't know. If they're going to have an event this big, you've got to imagine it's got to be next to ready to ship. Otherwise, why would they have an event?
Well, think about the last one. The last one they announced in January with a ship date of, I think, July. And so if August was in the timeline, then we're in April now. It kind of matches the timeline of last time. But then again, Jason, you and I were talking before show start how assuming they started work on Disney Infinity 2.0 shortly after the release of 1, because they kind of had to wait and see if it was somewhat successful before they put too much time and money and energy into it. 2014, a year after the release of the previous, seems a little bit soon if Disney Infinity 1 did take as long as it's been publicized as in the form of 3 years.
Although I guess if you look at it in the context of, I'm trying to think of an example. Like clearly, I mean, obviously they can get an Assassin's Creed out the door every year. I guess the tough part is getting your engine written, I guess, and I think there's probably plenty of examples, none that come to mind exactly, but you can make a fairly upgraded engine in a relatively quick turnaround, I guess, based on even things like I can't remember the specifics, but wasn't Red Dead Redemption based on some? I'm not sure if that was based on the Grand Theft Auto engine or whether it was I don't know. Anyway, you know what I mean? It takes a while to develop an engine, but if it's even a substantial iterative release, then it's doable.
Totally. I agree. Well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Do you guys think we're going to hear a release date next week? Or, at the media event, do you think they're going to be that bold?
I think there'll be a release month, and then the release date will probably be E3.
Okay. That makes sense.
Just because they don't want to get delayed like they did last time. They don't want to say June 22nd and then really come out August 18th.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, and that happens often is they give kind of a release window, and then when it gets a little bit closer, they'll actually announce the release date. Do you think that's a good plan, Jason? I could see that happening, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is clearly just an attempt because I mean, obviously, it appears as if it's going to be a very Marvel-focused event. I think this is like a just an opportunity to try and grow the audience in one foul swoop, like generate interest about Marvel characters in Infinity, and then I think we'll get a lot more details like release dates and so on closer to E3 or closer to its release date at least. So yeah, I just think this is an opportunity to expand the audience and excite a whole new section of people.
Yeah. Well, It's Time Chicken in the chat room agrees with us. He's thinking it's next week will be a release window. So.
And Guardians of the Galaxy comes out in August as well, so they're probably not going to want to be too. If that's a part of the game, they're probably not going to want to be too far from August.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope it's not. I hate it when Americans give release dates to the seasons, like release fall, summer, winter. That's a train wreck in my mind to try and convert that. I've got to go the opposite season in this country and then work out what months that is. It's a nightmare. Just give me a month.
So, do you prefer quarters then, like quarter 2 or quarter 3?
No, I hate that as well. Just give me a month. Just if it has to be a quarter, just tell me the 3 months. It's going to be January, February, or March, somewhere in that window. Don't give me quarters, because then there's the whole. You guys have a different financial year to what we have, and it's a nightmare. So let's just get specific with the months, people, please.
Jason, Chief Park in the chat room is asking if it's going to be so soon, how can the game engine be different? Well, my response to that is that I'm thinking the game engine's going to be improved, but it's not going to be brand new. I mean, it's Disney Infinity is a platform, they've said, so hopefully the game engine is part of that, although much, much more improved with much
it really just needs up-resing and to be an additive experience. They're just basically adding to what's already there rather than. I mean, some things hopefully will be rewritten and improved, but I think the majority of changes will be just new things to play with, new things to see, and up-resed so that it looks great on next-gen consoles. So I don't see that. That's not a. I mean, hopefully you would imagine that all their assets already would have been developed in a higher resolution in the first place to predictably. Be able to do this at some point to go, well, great, now we just hit the button that says put the high-res model in instead of the slightly lower-res model.
Yeah.
Well, yes. You got to know they've been working on DI2 even before DI1 was released. And the fact that, just like a superhero movie, since we're going to superhero theme a little bit, the first Spider-Man movie is more about setting you up. This is what Spider-Man is. So Disney Infinity is, hey, this is what Disney Infinity is. And then the second movie is where it's like full action. You already know what the game is. We're just going to hit you with all these new features and maybe better graphics. The next gen consoles. So I feel like the second one's going to be a good punch and keep leading into the sequels as well. I think each one's going to get significantly better.
Well, I completely agree with that. And one thing I would kind of say about this whole topic is, at what point do you leave? Obviously, it's not now, but at what point do you leave last gen behind? We're too early in the next gen as far as the next console generation for them to commit fully to that. Presumably, we're going to have 360, PS3, Wii U, maybe even Wii versions for 2.0. So that's got to add some restrictions, I would imagine. So what do you guys think? Do you think if it's a yearly release, is 3.0 or 2.5, whatever comes a year or so after DI 2.0, do you think that is going to be the next only on next gen console version, or could you see it lasting at least another generation?
I think they have to be smarter about their communication message, the way they scale. I think because if you look at them, have that issue. I know on Minecraft, based on what platform you've got it on, determines, I believe, just the size of the world you can build and so on. I think they could apply that same restrictions to Disney Infinity and just be, a little bit more upfront with it, so to speak, so that you can do all the same stuff I mean, I think you've got to leave Wii
Yeah.
at this point. But you can do all the same stuff on a Wii U, but you can only build half as big a worlds on a Wii U because that's what the power is limiting it to, if you know what I mean.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with, well, you can argue there's nothing wrong with that scenario. They did it with the Wii version, for example, and we talked about over and over again. A lot of times the thinking is it's nice to have. Maybe it's only 70% of the experience, but 70% is better than none as long as it's communicated properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a PlayStation 3 is so popular. I think it's still going to be around 2 years from now. So I could see at least PlayStation 3 and maybe Xbox 360 being in there with the next gen as well.
Yeah, totally. Well, cool, gents. Well, this is a good combo. Let's go ahead and get on with. We have a few news items, and the first one is being brought to us by Pirate Steve, and this is a pretty cool one. So you just want to mention that a little bit, Pirate?
Yeah, Disney Infinity Fans Forums has launched a new feature called the Pay It Forward program. There's a movie that came out with Haley Joel Osment. He's the person that saw Dead People with Bruce Willis, and it was all about. He would do something nice for somebody, and the other person was like, well, I don't have any money, how do I pay you back for this? And he's like, you don't have to pay me back, just pay it forward, do something nice for somebody else. It just makes you feel good to do something for somebody else. And there's a lot of people out there, Disney Infinity collectors, that have maybe duplicate figures or duplicate power disc that they have no use for. They already have completed their collection or close to it, and they just have a stack of power discs on the side somewhere. So there's a new program that we just started where you can offer up as a figure or a power disc as a pay it forward, and it's for you. Just the only things you have required is you have to be a registered member of Disney Infinity Fans Forum, and you have to pledge that you are it's a trust system, so you're going to pledge that you're actually going to pay it forward and offer something else to somebody else that might need it. And so far we have almost 100 items on there, mostly donated by Sheriff Woody and Q Lano on the forums, and there's some great stuff out there. There's play sets, complete play sets of Toy Story, a bunch of different Disney Infinity figures. They have regular power disc, lenticular Toys R Us power disc, the rare power disc, and all it requires is for you to be a member and to pay it forward. So maybe you're missing the Muppets bus or Dumbo and you can't get it, and you can't find anybody to trade with you. So if you want that, you just put "I'm interested," and 7 to 10 days after it's posted, the person who posted it will select somebody from that group, and they would send them a disc or the figure or whatever, and the person that is receiving it will be responsible for the shipping cost, but then they get that item, and the good part about it is they got something they needed, and even if it's something like Nemo's Reef or some ridiculous power disc that you have 20 of, you could put it on there to pay the fact that you received something and a nice gesture from somebody, and pay it forward and give it to somebody else that might need Nemo's Reef or whatever you have extras of. So I think it's a great program, and it's doing very well right now.
That's simply awesome. That's so cool. I have some discs just lying around that I don't. It's not worth selling. I would rather just give them away, and I like this organized way of doing it. And it's within an established community, so the trust, at least in part, is there by default, and I think that's an important part of this because there's no one to say whether or not someone pays it forward. But with a community like that, I would expect it. So that's a really cool thing you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, and also besides the Pay It Forward program, we're also doing a giveaway right now, where you have a chance to win one of the rare Merlin's power disc that's so hard to get. especially overseas. I know the UK especially are having trouble getting that disc. They're not apparently releasing it at Toys R Us or whatever store equivalent store they have it there. So there's a giveaway where you can all you have to do is answer a trivia question, and you're in the drawing for that, and you could get one of 5 Merlin's Power Discs that we're giving away.
Awesome.
So come get some free stuff. I mean,
free stuff's always good, right?
Trying to give it away, give stuff away, so the more people, the better.
Cool. Well, that's great, Pirate. Thank you so much for both of those items. The only other news items we have this week, gents, this one's a really, really cool one. So it looks like Infinity.Disney.com, so the official Disney Infinity website, has been nominated for a Webby Award. For those that don't know what the Webby Awards are, they are a website like award program that happens yearly, and this is crazy. But the reason it's crazy is, let me show you who Disney Infinity is going up against. So these are the 5 nominees in this category of web games related. So you have Twitch, one of the biggest trafficked sites, I don't even know if that's a word, in the world, is on this list. Museum of Mario, I don't know. Polygon is my favorite video game blog. The Escapist is another really, really great video game outlet. And then here you have Disney Infinity. And that says a ton. And it has to do everything from websites to videos to social apps. So it takes into consideration a lot, and the fact that Disney Infinity was nominated for this is pretty awesome. And as fans, I feel like we should all go there and give our vote to Disney Infinity, because that's some stiff competition that they're going up against. So to vote or to check out this news item, just go to infinity.disney.com and then go to the news section on the site. So cool. Jason, it's that time for your top toy box of the week.
I nearly didn't make it this week. I had a busy morning, but we got there in the end. FYI, there's a special guest on this week's live review, and that's my 3-year-old daughter who turned 3 yesterday. I was looking after this morning, and so I figure rather than locking her in a cage, I may as well just put her on my lap and let her help me review the toy boxes. So that's a fun video if you want to watch that one.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to highlight 2 toy boxes this week. Obviously, it was the Easter egg hunt week, and I just wanted to give full props to Vault of Villains for his sleeping dragon in the Dragon's Quest toy box. That was amazing. I'm loving this cutscene mechanic that all the toy box artists are starting to embrace and so on. That was a really creative use, really good gamification of the idea of an Easter egg hunt. But I was just blown away by Puppet Echo's Oswald's Egg Fest. Just the sense of being in a black and white cartoon, and just the amazing mechanics that he put into it was just good stuff. And I believe this was his 11th win or something. It really is starting to get a bit on the... at what point did Disney just go, what's the point? Why don't we have the top 5 toy box artists wins and let everyone else have a crack?
Yeah, you kind of need 3 hands to count how many toy boxes.
I'm not complaining. It was an amazing toy box. Did you play that one, Pirate? I just can't believe the black and white element of it just really blew me away. Just
the black and white from the Frankenweenie texture disc, and he used the classic Mickey Mouse music from the jukebox, and it made it feel like it was Steamboat Willie or that era of a cartoon. It was fantastic.
Yeah, very cool.
It was cool because Frankenweenie is kind of this dark movie, right? It's kind of this morbid and black movie, but this using those assets with this theme of the toy box completely changed the feel of it in a positive way.
It was pure artistry. That's what I'm saying. It felt like art. When I was in there, I just thought, I love looking at this, and that's pretty special when we're dealing with, again, textures and and set pieces that have been used, 100 times before, to be able to create something that's just beautiful to look at from something that we've seen 100 times over is just an amazing achievement.
Yeah, the Frankenweenie texture and sky disc. The only other time I remember somebody using that was the Tower of Terror toy box. So both of the ones that have used it have been fantastic. So I can't really think off the top of my head what the next theme would be to use that, but it's good to see people being creative enough to come up with their own ideas using those discs.
Definitely.
And
Awesome.
of all the villains, just to get back on him, he does some pretty great work on his block art and some very great original ideas. And he's a great family man that actually builds the boxes with his wife, and his daughter gets in the action as well. So it's kind of a family team that has been delivering those boxes, and that was his fourth featured toy box as a group.
That's cool. That's a cool story. Cool. Anything else you'd like to say about the toy boxes, Pirate, before we move on?
Not the other ones that I can remember were they had two based on Phineas and Ferb, which Finn Warrior did an excellent job on his Agent P, which he's very proud of. But I can't wait for because there's inevitably going to be a Phineas and Ferb challenge coming down our way soon. I'm guessing that might be next month. So I can't wait to see what people come up with there.
Yeah. Well, and this next week is the Disney Parks Challenge 2, right? The sequel, sort of. Yeah,
the sequel, and I know that a lot of people are submitting multiple boxes like crazy for it. So I took a week off, so I'm not doing that one because I just know the competition is going to be fierce, and anything that they pick is going to be better than mine anyway. So
you won one of the last Disney Park challenges, or the last one.
It's true, but sometimes you need a break, The Roger Rabbit one didn't get in there for the egg hunt challenge, so I took a week off to get back in the spirit.
Well, I guess that's okay, says the guy who has never won. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, that was great. For more of that, check out Disney's full review, Jason's full review on youtube.com/Disney Infinity TV, and you can watch his complete overview of the Toy Box winners of the week. While you're there, give us a subscribe. We're trying to transition over our audience from our old YouTube channel, so if you don't mind, check us out there. All right, gents. Well, I am now excited I was always excited, but I'm excited that we are moving on to our DI 2.0 feature conversation of the week. We haven't had one of these in a while because the last couple episodes have been pretty packed and featured other stuff. So this week we are discussing, we're coming up with our definitive track list and vehicle type list for what we hope could be in Disney Infinity 2 if we do have like a track system. So to clarify, these are things that would go on a track, not necessarily free roaming vehicles that like what exists in the game today. So with that, let's go ahead and get things started. And chat room, if you guys have ideas, please feel free to speak up and let us know. We'd love to see that. So the first one that came to my mind is one that everyone thought was coming out in Disney Infinity 1, and it turned out it didn't actually happen. And that was that is a proper steam engine train with tracks. I mean, I know there's lots of people that were disappointed that with the Lone Ranger playset we did not get a train track system that we could make. So I don't know. I say put the Disneyland train there and have the Lily Bell on the back of that. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a good idea?
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I mean, it's almost like without saying, well, and it seems relatively simple, right? I mean, even if it's just a track.
And they demoed its usefulness in the toy box. The fact that you can put different style carriages and stuff on a train is really cool. Like you can effectively, build up a train to do anything from carrying passengers to transporting weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Latin Soul said monorail, and I agree with that. And you can have the monorail spiel in English and Spanish go off maybe when you sit in it. I think that would be really cool. I mean, just you can have the monorail go around your whole park or whatever you design. To have Tomorrowland Transit Authority and as well as Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of trains in the Disney Arsenal they could go into.
And I guess you group the the Webway People Mover in that basket as well, probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like a. So I have. Let me. I'm not saying we have to follow this format, but the format I came up with is ride vehicles and then track types. And so I would say, and each one of those, each ride vehicle has a certain track type. So I would say the monorail, the Disneyland train, and maybe even the Wedway People Mover would be like a train track type track. And the only reason I'm saying that, Pirate, is that down below I have roller coaster ideas, and my train I think would be a roller coaster type train, but there's no reason it couldn't at least be themed like that for a regular train. So let's discuss some other ride vehicles before we get to some tracks. What kind of ride vehicles come to mind for you guys?
Well, obviously the Omni Mover we've discussed many a time before, and I'm even more inspired because Will, I don't know whether was you. I think it might have been off air. I can't remember, but you put me onto this Webway Radio, and they've been doing a historical series on the Haunted Mansion, and I assume you've listened to all 4 of the sections. Yes, the part where they spoke about the obviously the Doom buggy itself really spoke to me as far as they designed this clamshell design, the classic clamshell of the Doom buggy. And the beauty of it is it forces the perspective of the rider, so that effectively you don't have to build as much, and which has always been one of my problems with toy boxes. When I built my Neverland racetrack, it's sort of, I loved the parts I'd done, but it was frustrating because there was all these sections where I had to build up with just random stuff because it was visible. And I think the beauty of a Doom buggy or a clamshell, it's the same sort of design within the Little Mermaid ride, would give you the opportunity in Infinity toy boxes to basically ignore everything behind the Doom buggy and force the perspective of the rider so that you only have to build up certain sections of your either dark ride or whatever you're trying to whatever produce. So that theory would just fit perfectly into building toy boxes, the ability to ignore everything behind the rider.
So have maybe like if you jump in an Omni Mover, it forces a first person perspective maybe, so it really limits your field of view.
Definitely, definitely. And you can define basically through switches as it passes certain sections of the track, you can determine which direction it's facing and all those sorts of things. And it'd also be really cool to see in the vehicles ahead and behind you to be able to see other Disney characters riding alongside you in the ride. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
That's an awesome idea. I like that.
Well, it'd be cool if you were in a Doom buggy, all of a sudden a hitchhiking ghost can appear next to you every now and then.
Totally cool.
I think that'd be a really cool effect. One of the things I like most about using the different vehicles is you get whatever music is associated with them. So being able to blast Grim Grinning Ghost while I'm in a Doom buggy monster truck running over people would be great. I would love to see Splash Mountain Log blasting Zippity Doo Dah or How Do You Do or something while and it could be land vehicle or it could be in the water, because as we saw in the commercial, the teaser trailer for 2.0, that was the rescuer's boat skiff that was being used on land, so it could be used either or.
Yeah, well, and that's a great point. Like my idea for this is that these are compatible track vehicles, but then they have some other way of using them in a free form fashion, like you were just saying, Pirate.
Well, we've already got
Let's
the Toy Story one, don't we? Haven't got the representation of the Toy Story. I know it's technically not an Omni move, or is it? Yeah, the Toy Story blaster thing.
I think technically it is an Omni mover. I think it's
I think it
just
might be.
controllable, right?
But the point is, that's really cool. Again, just give us the Omni track, and then clearly
Mhm.
they've got tons of different representations of types of vehicles we can put on that track type. It'd also be a nice pipe dream. Imagine if you could record your own commentary. God, that'd be good.
Yeah, that would be cool. Well, so Pirate just talked about boats. Let's talk about boats for a little bit. And an idea I had about this because resources is always an issue, right? And in this case, I'm referring to money and time. I'm not referring to memory allocation in the game. So how's a way that we can make some of these things a little bit cheaper because we're such fans of a lot of these rides and presumably we want them all. So what if like for boat type rides, for example, you could modify them like you can modify trains and just put on a different skin that would match a particular ride. So, let's take It's a Small World of Pirates, for example. They're the same boat that would work with the same track system. It's just you could modify the skins to represent It's a Small World boat or Pirates. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I would definitely like a Jungle Cruise boat, whether it's a skinned one or a power disc.
Yeah,
That would be cool because
I don't even think it'd be that taxing because I think you could create a track piece that literally has forced rails on the side, so it's a closed rail system. So effectively, you've just got like a vehicle that you're still controlling just like any car, but it's forced to stick within the track because it can't get outside of those rails, if you know what I mean.
well, I mean that's how it works, right? Isn't that how the real
Yeah,
vehicles
I
work?
suppose you're right. Spot on.
Cool. What other? So we just mentioned It's a Small World. The chat room was saying they would love to have a Splash Mountain boat. Um,
Mm. Log flume
so
rhymes will be cool.
yeah, log flumes. What about I just thought about this. What about the rapid ones with the big inner tubes? Then you could put other Disney characters in the ride with you while you go down this rapids ride,
That'd be
like
cool. You could
Grizzly.
also put the like the Tom Sawyer Island canoe type things in that context. That'd work well.
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
hoping in 2.0 they find a way to make it virtual 4D, where if you're doing the Cali River Rapids, they find out a way to splash or you get wet while you're playing. I wonder if they came up with the technology yet.
Let's play some couch co-op pirate, and I'm sure we could make that happen. I'll
Oh
just
yeah.
dump a bucket of water on you.
And Latin Soul mentioned the submarines too. Submarines would be pretty sweet as well, particularly the
That would
20,000 under the league. Like, see, that'd be awesome.
Mr.
that would be
Toad's
cool.
ride vehicle would be great. I'm sure that'd be very popular. It has a lot of nostalgic at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World, since Walt Disney World doesn't have it anymore.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah. Another non water ride, non boat would be the Pooh Honey Hunt vehicle. I don't even know what that is. I assume there's a Winnie the Pooh ride in one of the parks.
Isn't it in both the parks now?
Yeah, it's in Fantasyland and at Walt Disney World and Critter Country at Disneyland.
See, they look at me funny when I try to ride the kiddie ride.
Weren't you
So.
just there? No, I was just joking. The
It's a
the
four-seater from memory, I think.
I really thought they would have released a radiator, or unlockable Radiator Springs racer vehicle from California Adventures. I think that would have been cool, and that could also be
That would.
reskinned as the test track vehicle because it's basically the same car. Another one they could reskin would be the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland is exactly the same ride vehicle as Dinosaur in Animal Kingdom. So they could. That's just two other examples right there.
I would hold out hope we would get the Indiana Jones version just because that would mean some more Lucas stuff in there.
Definitely.
Obviously, one thing that you got to think of is roller coaster type vehicles when you think about this. And again, I could see the skin idea working for this too. Space Mountain and the Matterhorn are kind of similar ride vehicles. Well,
This
not
is
really.
something I thought about this on camp. This is going to be a slight diversion because when I was thinking about this idea, roller coasters in particular, because roller coasters have so many types. You've got your steel, your tubular coasters, and you've got your what do you call them? Your classic wooden coaster and so on. We'll get onto the track types in a second. But my thought was, when you even think about bringing a roller coaster mechanic to Disney Infinity, I start thinking about, well, is that starting to get too much on the side of a roller coaster tycoon or a theme park game, if you know what I mean? Because of the complexities of roller coasters, you've got your loop-de-loops, you've got all this sort of stuff, and it made me get excited more than anything, because if Disney Infinity go down this version route, we briefly talked about this last show, but I got excited about the idea of just incremental updates. I love the idea of getting to a place where Disney Infinity can say, hey guys, next month we're releasing a roller coaster mechanic to you all type thing. And that got me thinking, because I was talking to my brother about it, and this is something we should definitely put on the to-do show list. But with Marvel and Star Wars coming out, if Disney Infinity turned around and said, we're bringing out our brawler mechanic, and effectively created all these mechanics that created a Disney version of Smash Brothers. I mean, to be able to have the X-Men versus the Incredibles in some form of fighter game, or any Star Wars characters versus Marvel characters in a really competent Mario type brawler. I guess the point is that if they're in an not an iterative, but continually adding new mechanics to our toy box to play with, the possibilities truly are infinite. So with saying that, my point is that put my fears aside, because I think it can be a roller coaster tycoon if they give us the tools. It may not be something that I'd be able to put in all on the disc immediately, but there's nothing stopping them working on some really cool roller coaster mechanics to add in. What do you think about that?
I think I would love, love, love to see that. That was the only reason I played those games, was to make awesome roller coasters and then ride in them in first person view. So I really
Exactly.
want that robustness. And yeah, I mean, maybe 2.0 has roller coasters, but maybe it's pretty simplified, and it's more kind of like the tracks we have now, but it's kind of like laying the groundwork and the foundation. And
Exactly. It doesn't have to stay simple. They could
mhm.
upgrade it over time. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's almost like at that point when you discuss that, or your Smash Brothers type idea, these are kind of like plugins for software. These are
Beautiful.
large
Yeah.
scale modifiers for software to really change what you have the ability to create. So,
So
no,
what coasters have we got anyway? What coasters have we currently got that we'd like to see? Obviously, Space Mountain was the first one, right?
absolutely.
So we want to see
Uh,
that,
Want to see that. Want to see the mine train.
definitely.
What about Matterhorn? I think is requirement. I mean, it's even kind of almost there right now. It just doesn't have a ride vehicle.
And just today there
Star
was a toy
Tours.
box with the things which I love. The riding on those things, that's proof that roller coasters will be fun.
The rail.
Yeah, the
What,
rail. It's fun to ride the rails.
Pirate, what'd you start to say?
The Star Tours ride vehicle.
Oh yeah, not a roller coaster, but yeah, that would be. I Every time I go to the parks, I want to buy one of those stupid toys that is just like the Star Tours ride vehicle, just because I want one because they're so cool. Um, Honestly, it's a fun ride, but I don't really care about the rocking roller coaster. That doesn't
Yeah.
need to be in the game for me, but it's another one.
The
And
only
then,
other major coaster type I can think of that's don't think's in a Disney park is one of the inverted ones, the ones where you're actually underneath the track, so to speak.
uh,
You know what I mean? You're hanging underneath the track rather than being on top of it.
oh yeah, 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 like a hanging coaster and not one you're
Yeah,
sitting in.
or I guess in a way, kind of like the Peter Pan ride.
Hmm. Which would be an awesome ride vehicle. I mean, we kind of
Yeah.
have a ride vehicle of it right now in a way, um, but that would be really cool. Oh, California Screamin', Magic Monkey in the chat room saying that's a great one. I didn't. Didn't think about that.
So there's not that many. There's only like what 4 or 5 different types of roller coaster types that again could be easily skinned, and then plenty of ride vehicles produced to go on
Mhm.
top of those different track types. So definitely, I think that let's hope for that one in the future.
The only one, Everest, is the only one I don't think we mentioned, although we might have.
Hmm.
Yeah, so let's talk about some tracks now. So really, I kind of feel like we covered all bases. So someone in the chat room, who was it? I'm going to say they were saying an Omni Mover is a track that is constantly moving. So that's, I guess, the only requirement of that. And that came from Chief Parker in the chat room. So thanks for that, Chief. But yeah, we covered quite a few ride vehicles. Now let's talk some track types. So we just discussed roller coasters. So what are two kind of I feel like almost everything could be categorized as either rustic or futuristic. I mean, I know there's a
Hmm.
lot more, but rustic could probably take care of a lot of roller coaster looks, I think.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And as we said, I mean, just stick to whatever's real, the tubular,
Hmm.
or just pretty much tubular track or monorail where you're underneath it effectively.
Yeah, I think that's all that's needed, and I think there's some crossover with this. So the monorail type track, I mean, you could use that for some of these other rides. It's just, and you control the parameters of these tracks in other ways, like the speed, and I don't know if there's a gravitational like physics simulation engine in the game or not. I don't know if it necessarily has to be that robust, at least at the beginning. But you put arrows on the track that says speed times one times two times light speed, and that's for Star Tours.
The only other thing I could think of maybe, and it's sort of a cross between the boat ride and the thing, it would be like a um, tunnel mechanic, almost like a enclosed water slide type vibe, where you could have almost like instead of having a space mountain track that's actually on a track, actually go for what they're actually supposed to be and have like a space travel as if it's shooting through a enclosed tunnel, which you could have sections that are see-through, so that you know what I mean. You can see outside the tunnel. You know what I'm talking about?
Hmm. Yeah, that would be
That'd kind of
awesome.
work well.
I
And
like
as
that.
far as water and boat rides, obviously we'd want to see good physics, so you can have really good, um, what I said, log flume drops and stuff like that as part of your rides to recreate splash, splash. What is it? Splash Mountain?
Splash Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, Splash
Yeah.
Mountain type rides.
My ideal situation is that there's actual buoyancy and the boats are floating, and that is somewhat simulated, and then it's just the track, whatever the track is merely a guide, and it reacts to the water appropriately. That's the way I'd like to see it.
And it'd be nice again that when you get to certain, so you can actually set the speed of the torrent, so to speak, so you could slow people down
Hmm.
when you want to and speed them up when you want them to. So again, to aid in the storytelling benefits of a boat ride system.
Yeah, exactly. Um, you just made me think of something, Jason. Now it is slipping my mind, having to do with the boat. I don't know.
Well, again, while you're thinking, I think if we go back to the Haunted Mansion and the Omni Movers, I guess there's also a case to be said for the more futuristic Omninuva based thing where it doesn't have to be on a track, but I guess the important thing is that it's a force perspective and you can define you can define its direction that it travels. It doesn't necessarily have to be on a track with 100 other of the same vehicle. You could create a vehicle that will just control by itself, and it's just a single rider experience, I guess. But it'd be nice to have, I guess, both options.
Yep.
Because they're doing. I think they do it with RFID or something in Winnie the Pooh in Japan or something like that, where the vehicle just looks for um, triggers in the floor to know which direction and which direction to face, and so on.
Yeah. Sorry, I remembered what I was thinking of is the theming. All the skins could be themed the same way that current tracks are. It's just based on the theme of the ground around it, and that's a real simple way of taking care of that, I think.
Yeah. Papa Echo just said Carousel of Progress, which is pretty cool. The idea of I don't know, what would you class that?
Well, some
Some
people
rotating stage?
Putts 2000 is saying a flat plate you could place anything on and spin it in varying speeds. That could take care of Carousel of Progress. That could take care of the teacups, which I know someone mentioned before. That could take care of what is it, Mater's Roundup and California Adventure. I mean, that could take care of a lot, and it's just dependent on what you put on that plate, really.
That'd be also super cool for set change type stuff. Going into an enclosed room, rotate the set, come straight back out without having to go through a teleporter to completely change the location that you're in. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, sweet guys, this is a lot of track stuff. Before we kind of wrap things up, do you have any other track vehicles or track type systems you'd like to see in the game? I can actually see the two of you like really thinking.
Exactly. This is live thinking going on right now.
I think I see smoke coming out of Pirate's ears.
I know, there's so many. I mean, I want them all.
Yeah, that's a
I
problem.
will mention the paddle boat steamer. Like, it'd be cool to have bigger ship type moving structures apart from just the smaller ride things. It'd be cool to have, yeah, like the pirate ships and the paddle steamers and so on.
I just think that the fact that they have the tram to get you to the park, I think the fact that they included that ride vehicle, it's so abstract that you think they'd be coming up with a lot more things. If they're going to do the tram, they're going to have to hit everything from the tram to the back of the park. They could come out with as a power disc.
Yeah. Well, and that, I don't know, I kind of like that they did that because it does give me hope that, they're not afraid to touch anything park related, even as something as small as the tram.
Yeah. Okay. I thought of another one. So back in the day, they had in the Figment ride, they had Dreamfinder's ship. Mm-hmm. If you could drive that, that'd be sweet, and it would play the Journey into Imagination music.
That would be cool.
Also, maybe I just thought of maybe vehicles that are unmanned vehicles, like to represent the red trolley cars and stuff like that in the parks, but basically almost like villages where you could just put vehicles in your toy box that will just randomly move throughout, so it's like something you can hop on or off, and it just goes wherever you tell it to keep going, so you can set it on a forced loop, so you could effectively have like a Disney transportation bus from one of the resorts type thing, and just set up some form of vehicle like that just goes on a set direction, and as a player you can just jump on or off.
Putts 2000 is saying a GPS type system, place points in vehicles, travel to designated points, and there's your track right there, Jason, for an automated track.
Perfect.
That'd be sweet and simple. I mean, that seems like a simple. It's A to B in a straight line ish.
Yeah, and then back and forth. Like, I think that'll work kind of, and just add more life to the toy box at the end of the day.
That would be cool for unmanned vehicles, manned vehicles, and then even characters. That would be a cool way to create some liveliness in your toy box, to have these characters just walking around in a pattern.
Yeah, definitely.
So. Awesome. Well, gents, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We could talk about this all night, I'm sure. If you would like to join in the conversation outside of chat, just please drop us a line, info@InsideDisneyInfinity.com. We would love to hear from you. We have these 2.0 conversations every week, except for next week, because we are going to be talking about the announcement. So if you want to talk to us about anything, just drop us a line there. Also, make sure you check out our YouTube. I mentioned it earlier, youtube.com/Disney Infinity TV. I did a couple videos. I know, Jason, you saw these this week, and there's an Xbox game called Project Spark, and one of our listeners, actually, I think he's a listener anyway, he created a version of Epcot in the park, and he made Maelstrom in the park, and I know someone in the chat room mentioned Maelstrom, and so that was pretty cool. If you're interested in that at all, check it out, because I'm kind of comparing Project Spark to Disney Infinity, and I'm really hoping Infinity can learn a thing or two from this game. So if you're interested in those videos, check out our YouTube, and I'm actually going to go through the tutorial on that game this week, because I think the tutorial is really where this Disney Infinity can learn from that. So. Also, check out our website for all of our friends, the Disney Infinity Fans Forum that Pirate spoke of earlier. Our good friend, the Pixar Post, run a Pixar blog and podcast. Infinity and Beyond, presented by Biomation Kingdom, a great Facebook group, as well as a good website. And then last but not least, our good friend Lloyd runs the VG Podcasting Network, vgpodcast.com. So you can check all of those out at our website. And so and that's InsideDisneyInfinity.com, where you can chat and watch live. So check us out on iTunes. If you don't mind, feel free to subscribe to us and write us a little review. We'd appreciate that. And so with that, gents, I think that is all the plugs I have. Pirate, did you have a good time on tonight's show?
I had a great time. Thanks for having me back. We think and live Infinity almost every day, so definitely hit us up in the mailbag. Hit us up in the I feel like I'm at Jason's house. There's like kids. Definitely hit us up in the mailbag or on the forum. Let us know what you want us to do, maybe future shows or something. But let us know you think we're doing a good job, and we'll keep it up.
Absolutely, and Pirate, I forgive me, you are actually a high-ranking member on the Infinity Fans Forum, so you can make sure you look for Pirate there, and if you have any specific questions, he's even been a Toy Box winner or two, so I'm sure he would love to help you out with that. So thanks again, Pirate, and Jason, as always, thank you for coming on and helping me do this show. This was a good one this week.
Yes, it's always fun to speculate what's coming up, but hopefully we won't have to speculate much longer, eh?
Yeah, this next week is going to be a good week.
Definitely, definitely. And my kids are back at school, so that's why it's dead silent over here.
Yeah, Pirate and I were talking pre-show today. We were talking about how sometimes the awesomeness of our show comes from your kids, so and that's a compliment. So
definitely. So looking forward to next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And as new information comes out, make sure you stay tuned with us. We're going to be doing lots more videos, and we'll be talking about all the news each week. So please come by. Thanks to everyone in the chat room. I see some new people. Chief Parker, thank you. Infinite Mickey, appreciate it. It's Time Chicken. We love seeing you in the chat room. Latin Soul. Hello, Latin Soul. Magic Monkey's new. Papa Echo, the one and only Toy Box expert, Papa Echo. And Putz 2000, great seeing you again. So thank you all for chatting with us, and really appreciate it. We can't wait to speak to you all next Wednesday, so make sure you look for us then. Until then, we hope you have a very infinite week. Bam, 59 minutes. Exactly.
Infinite week sounds a bit harsh to me.
Damn it, I did say that. I meant to say a week with infinite possibilities.
Yes. Infinite week sounds terrible, although I get a lot of work done.
Only if it's an infinite week filled with infinity and that's all you're doing.
Yep, definitely.
Infinite Mickey, it is on Xbox One. It's unfortunately a console exclusive for that. Yeah, it's a cool game. It will come nowhere near Disney Infinity for me, but I do hope that they Infinity learns a thing or two from this game. So. Pirate, I made your time.
Yeah, I love the mute button. I mean, it was so helpful to the show.
It's awesome.
I was and I love that. I mean, I don't know if you saw. I got up so many times during the show, but it worked out.
I did, yeah. There was a long period there where we missed you because I know you would have been awesome for the conversation, but that's totally okay. I knew you had other things to do. So, All right, gents. Well, everyone in the chat room, thank you again so much. Again, we're going to be back next Wednesday, not next Monday, and we hope to see you all then. We really can't wait to talk about whatever they talk about on Wednesday. So,
Definitely.
everyone, we'll see you next week. And I know a few of you have put in some Disney Parks challenges for this next week, so I can't wait to see some of those. So, good luck with winning those. All right, folks. We'll see you later.
Bye.